So today we have a special guest on Unfiltered Beauty. We have Laci, who is the amazing wife of Dr. John. Very lovely. She is also our social media manager. So if you ever get a comment or a like from Mountain West Medical Aesthetics Instagram page, it is Laci. So feel free to message her or ask her any questions. And yeah, she's great. So we're really lucky to have her.
And I'm new to it, so still learning. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Social media is a lot. It can be really cool, but yeah, it's trying to be authentic and talking with people, engage, rather than just give a thumbs up,
Right.
really getting more intimate, I think makes it more powerful and meaningful. So that's kind of been my underlying goal. Before taking it over, I literally tried to stay away from social media. I would just post my little personal stuff and so my family can see what's going on. And John at night would just we'd be watching TV and he's just scroll, scroll, scroll. And I'm like, we went to a concert last night and I look over and there he is scrolling. And I go, you can put that away. Oh, okay. He's just so used to it. So now I have to try to take on a little bit more and scroll a little more so I can kind of see what's the trend, what's the vibe, but it's not something that I was doing before. So
Yeah.
it's kind of new and yeah.
I know it's hard to put your face out there too, as far as like me and building up my work Instagram. It was always kind of hard to be out there, because you're just opening yourself up. You're being
Yeah.
vulnerable. But I found that that's like the best way to connect with people, just to show, hey, I'm a mom too.
Yeah.
I'm a wife. I have a lot of stuff on my plate. I love my job. I love my coworkers, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to share that with everybody.
Yeah. It's tough because then you have to find that fine line of what's too much. What do people want to hear? What are they like? Ooh, I don't want to know that. Ooh, too much information. So it's just kind of finding that balance with the whole thing. And yeah.
Yeah. And for me, you're right. I find myself on Instagram a lot more. And I know that my young kids are impressionable with those kind of things. And so I try and be mindful of that. It's so hard to find separate time between work and kids and home life and everything to sit down and focus on your social media. And you don't want to be on your phone
No.
and you don't want to look like you're just obsessed with your phone, but
No.
it's actually part of your job.
Yeah.
And so it's so hard.
Well, and I'm finding more even watching TV. I'm watching it, but I'm still on my phone, doing stuff. And I can listen and do, and I'm like, I remember back in the day, and I went to an office, the other day for an appointment, and I'm sitting in the waiting room, and I thought, I remember we just used to sit down and look at magazines until we had to go in. And now you look around and everyone's just on their phones, and it's changed so much.
It really has.
And I look around, my kids, my family were watching TV, but I look over and they're like, oh, they're on their phone, doing the thing, but they're still able to pay attention to the TV still.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I know. And I feel like, we have we're in the generation that it was before cell phones, right?
Yeah.
We had those phones in the car, like the car phones or the big bulky phones or whatever, like
I
the
always
big
wanted
chalk
that.
block
It was
thing.
so cool. You had to pull the top. And
Right.
yeah, those were
And
cool.
pagers. I was kind of still young, but my sisters are 10 years older than me, and they always had pagers and stuff. And then I would get their old pagers and I would
Oh.
pretend like I would
I
get
never
a
had a
page or
pager.
whatever. And yeah, but then I just feel like we were lucky. We were really lucky. We had a good childhood before social media became everything.
Oh yeah. I don't even know how we managed. I remember my mom, hey, I'll just drop you off at the mall. And then, you knew, okay, I'll pick you up at 6 or whatever. And now, like, my kids go on a date, I can see where they're going.
Yeah.
I'm like, so if you get kidnapped, don't worry. I've got your location. Like,
Yeah.
you're good.
Tracker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because, you want to be able to go out and have a little more freedom. But as parents, we're so like, we need to know where everyone is and what's going on. And
Well, I feel like the world has changed too, as far as like safety and stuff. I mean, or at least we're more aware of it.
right. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. Because I mean, the things I've read have said, really, it's not like things have gotten too much worse. It's kind of the same, but now we have the internet to tell us all about it. We've got the news to share this and social media, and it's just like so much all the time.
Yeah.
So I think it just kind of triggers that fear a lot more.
That's like my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And then I watch true crime too. So I love all those. John's like, you don't like the cop shows, but you'll watch all of the like murder mystery Dateline. I'm like, yeah, like that's.
I need ideas.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I've got it all figured out.
Right?
I won't see on here because I don't want to get in trouble.
They won't catch me.
Have no idea. I've watched so much Dateline.
Right?
Set.
And then you watch it and you're like, psh, I knew that.
Yeah.
I called it.
Exactly.
I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Or you should have done it this way.
Yeah.
Right?
Could have got away with it. But
Seriously. You shouldn't have done that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good times.
I have to like simmer my smile down because I have like really big cheeks. It is not filler. I do not have filler in my cheeks. I just have fat cheeks.
I don't think.
And then like I smile and then it's like up in my eyes.
I've started
and then my eyes are small.
I feel like when I am trying to smile, then it ends up being like my mouth is like open a little bit more. I'm trying to do more of a laugh, so then my eyes will lighten up. But I don't know. Then I feel like I look at the pictures, I'm like, doesn't look like I envisioned. And the lights in my bathroom are like amazing lights.
So you take a lot of bathroom
Well,
selfies?
no, but I'm thinking I might need to start doing that. No, I'm like, I leave the house and I'm like, man, I look great today.
Right. And then normal lighting.
Yeah, and then I'm, driving. I'm like, ooh, the rearview mirror. Like, I don't know. It shows everything, and then it's kind of, and then I take a picture or something. I'm like, that's not what I look like when I left the house. I was looking really good.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I just need the lighting from my bathroom to follow me around, and
Mm-hmm.
I would look really amazing all day.
I feel like I don't put enough makeup sometimes, and then like my face just looks bleh, and then I'm like, okay, I should have done some different angles and did a little bit of tune up. I don't know.
I don't know if I know my angles yet. Like, I see certain people that I'm like, wow, she's really photogenic and she like can turn, and I'm like, I think she lost like 15 pounds just by like turning. I'm like, how?
Yeah, it's true though. I
Yeah.
mean, they teach you that. There's like some Instagram posts or, people on Instagram that like show you like the differences in the way that you use your body, and like
I need that.
they have like this big old stomach bulge, but then they do something else and they're flat.
Yeah. I need to take that class. Is that an online course?
Right.
'Cause I want to do that.
I just need somebody at all times
Yes.
to tell me, okay, suck it in,
Yes.
Sam.
Yes.
Just like
up.
Nate. Sam, you need to smile. And I'm like, okay, thank you. I will smile now. That's my hardest thing to do when I'm getting my videos done at work, when I'm doing treatments. I'm so serious in my face and I'm like focused, but I'm being recorded. So I look like a bee, And I'm like, I swear I'm friendly. I'm just really concentrated.
No, I always like when I get you look really tired. Like,
ooh. Those are fighting words.
I know, but I'm like, so, I teach classes at the gym and I don't go in, I have no makeup. And I've had a couple like, you look really tired today. Is everything okay? And I'm like, I was really refreshed until you told me.
I didn't think that I looked tired.
No,
Thank
so I'm
you.
like, again, maybe I need more Botox. Is it wearing off? John likes to remind me about that.
Oh, I'm sure he does. He does that to me too at work. He's like, "Oh, what is that?"
Yes, he likes to point at it.
Face? Oh, is that a wrinkle? I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, he's like, you're giving me that look again. It's time for Botox.
Yeah. So when did you start your Botox journey?
Oh goodness. It's been a while. But I remember I was really, really worried. I think I posted about it and I put the picture of Sloth from Goonies and I said,
Okay.
I hope I don't turn out like this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and then I mean, after I got it once, I thought, this is like gold. I love it.
Yeah.
And um, I remember in high school, a lot of people would say, what's wrong? You look so worried. I had this worried face all the time. I didn't know. I was just walking around normal, guess looking worried. I mean, I do have some worry, but I didn't think it showed.
Yeah.
And then I got Botox. And so I still get it a few times, but
Yeah.
not as much.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's like a gateway drug. Like you get
For sure.
Botox and then it's like, okay, I did that. Okay, I guess I could do filler. Okay, I guess I could do this. And yeah, it's worth it, I
Yeah.
think.
I agree.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything to my skin, like not even good skincare or anything. And until I started working for John,
Mhm.
and it changed my skin so much.
Yeah.
I remember washing my face and you know, like the texture, it's like kind of bumpy and rough and dry. And then after you do treatments and stuff, it's so smooth
yeah.
and glowy
Yeah.
and pretty. And you're like, wow, why didn't I do this earlier?
Yeah, I remember seeing other people and I'm like, wow, I want her skin. How do I get that? And I had no idea. Like,
Mhm.
and now John is like, you need to put sunscreen on, or I'm not going to do Botox anymore. Like, what's the point of doing all this if you're just going to ruin it? And I'm like, okay, like I got to make sure I do that. Like,
Gosh.
very like
In your face.
yeah, like, and what does he do? Like, I mean, do
Nothing.
guys even do anything with their skin? I kind of feel like
Yeah.
that should be like a big thing, is who's gonna like take over and say, guys, like, here's your skincare stuff.
Right? I know my husband, he's very particular about this one cream that he uses
He
because
uses cream.
he does, but not, I don't know where he gets it from and I don't know what's in
It
it,
just
but he
shows up.
swears by it. Yeah. And he's so scared of changing it up
Oh,
because
yeah.
he was on, what is that? Acne medication, Accutane,
Oh,
when
yeah.
you can't have babies on.
Yes.
And he was on that for a year. And so that was a long journey for him. And
Oh.
so he's like, I need to take care of my skin. I don't want this to happen again.
Yeah.
And so he orders something, and I've tried to get him to use like the guy's Skin Better. He's like,
Yeah.
no. Like, I guarantee your skin could be better.
Yeah. Well, and I think we have a bunch of Skin Better for men just in the drawer that he's brought
Never
home and
use.
doesn't use.
Yeah.
And he's kind of that same way too, where he just uses the same product. Okay, he did use Head and Shoulders for like a zillion years.
Yeah.
And then finally, I don't even know what brand he uses now, but it's not that. He's really grown in his self-care.
Yeah.
But not yet with the skincare.
Yeah.
And how do you do that with like a beard? Like, do you still like
I don't know, because my
moisturize?
husband can't grow a beard to save his life. So
I just was like, how do you take care of your skin? I mean, do you still like put lotion over a beard?
yeah, I don't know.
Same.
Yeah, probably around
just
the
like
hair.
here.
I would think that it'd make the hair greasy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
I might need to research that and see.
Yeah, that would be good. We have a lot of beard patients, so
Yeah.
I feel like that would be good to know.
Yeah.
But my husband uses like the bar of soap for his entire body
Mhm.
and his like
Irish Spring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. We have that also in our.
Yeah. The green
Mhm.
bar of soap. Yeah. It's probably the cheapest soap at Costco or something.
Yeah.
Is why he buys it.
Well, we buy it in like bulk from Amazon.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, we're almost out of soap. Well, I know where the next one is. We
Right?
got 40 more in the cupboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Crazy.
Guys,
I know.
men.
Also, they can use beard oils.
Oh, beard oils.
I feel okay. Have you seen that SNL back in the day where they like have their like podcast headphones on and they're like, and I think it was just so funny because they were like, good times, nice. And they were just very chill. I'm like, oh, yes.
They were probably high.
Yeah, maybe. But I just kind of feel like that's the vibe. Like, ooh, beard oil.
Ooh, yeah.
Nice.
It's chill.
Yeah. I'm going to have to look that one up again.
Yeah.
I love this.
I mean, there's like beard places that you can go. I don't know how much it costs, but like they do all kinds of stuff
Oh.
to your beard. And
I know like John goes in and they trim up his beard. Like,
Hmm.
I feel like that's kind of, well, I mean, I guess I get my hair cut, but I feel like beard would be very personal, like in your business.
yeah,
Is it? I don't
I don't know. I don't know.
They also need to like do eyebrows and stuff too.
Yes, his nose hairs. Gotta wax those.
Yeah.
We should
Yeah.
get a video of that.
Yes. I was thinking we need to do that again. Like both sticks up the nose and yank.
Yes. You know what's also funny is shaving his neck. He made Steph do that once.
Really?
Yeah. And then laser hair removal on his neck. He did not
Oh.
like that. He
I-
was being a big baby about that.
Yeah. I told him he needs to do that again. He
Yeah.
needs to get some more laser hair removal
On his neck.
on his neck. And it's kind of right in here. in the
Oh, on the
shoulders.
shoulders?
Yeah.
That's
It's kind
weird.
of appearing. I think as you get older, it just kind of just grows forever.
And it
40.
gets gray. I know, right? I'm not there quite yet, but I'm
Yeah,
close.
I mean, I feel like 40's been good. Like it's been a good decade so far.
Yeah.
And John keeps reminding me, you're closer to 50 than you are to 40. Isn't he mean? Like
He is terrible.
I
That's what he
know.
said to me about 40s. And I was like, well, I'm not 40 yet. You're
Yeah.
like, what, 45?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got time.
And I think 40 it's just been getting better and better. And then with my kids getting older, it's been, a little more freeing. 30s, early 30s was all about little kids and chasing after them and no self-care whatsoever. It was just like live in the moment and survive. And now in the 40s, I'm like, okay, I've got time. I can take care of my skin. I can exercise. And yeah, it's just more chill.
Yeah. I truly believe that the 30s is the new 20s and the 40s is the new 30s.
Yes.
And I actually like being in my 30s because I have
Yeah.
money to do what I want and I can travel and my kids are, I'm not having babies anymore,
Yeah.
so I can focus on my working out and my body. And
Yeah.
I learned about skincare and taking care of my skin, so
Yeah.
I feel like more confident in my skin. So that's kind of
Yeah.
nice. But I
Yeah.
can't. Yeah, 40s is going to be hard for me to like pass that threshold, but then I feel like I'll be fine.
Well, and I felt like I'm in my mind, I'm still young. Like I'm probably like 25 for sure. But my body is like, no, you're not, girl. Like you can't do this. Like working out. I'm like, I used to work out every day of the week, lifting, no big deal. And now I'm like, every other day, maybe every couple days. And my body is just worn out. So, but my mind says I can do more.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I feel like I just have a lot on my plate. So I think
Yes.
trying to juggle everything is my hardest thing. Is
Yeah.
like being there for everything. When I moved back to Idaho, my main goal was to have more life outside of work.
Yeah.
Because I worked so much there. I was the breadwinner. And so then moving here, I went part-time, but then John snagged me up and I was working both jobs.
Oh.
And I feel like that's when it started. That's when I was like, my boundaries kind of like opened up and I started working more. And then I had Ethan and then I had to commit to one job. And
Yeah.
so I chose Mountain West. And then he just likes to throw more things on my plate.
Surprise.
Yeah.
I know how that is.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
But I think it's been okay, you know?
Well,
We're
it looks
learning.
like you're doing well.
Well,
Like
thank
you don't
you.
look tired. I wouldn't say that. I know better. I would
Right.
never say that. Even if they literally like bags under the eyes, I'd be like, you look great, girl.
Right? I
Yeah.
know some people, the audacity.
I know. Like,
I
just let
know.
me look the way I am. Don't shame me.
I
It's
know.
right.
And that's how it is when I'm at work too. A lot of times people are like, "Oh, what do you think I should do for my face?" I'm like, "Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I don't
Exactly.
know. Like, what do you want to do?
I mean,
What's your
I feel
concern?
like if you point something out, then they're gonna start seeing that. So it's like, how do you like walk that fine line where you're like, ooh, your lips are a little crooked? Like, I mean, how do you kind of get that? Like, maybe we could do this. Is that kind of just how you?
Usually I'm like, well, I'm not going to point anything out that I think.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me what are your concerns. And they'll tell me, oh, my bag's under my eyes. And then I can, assess them and see,
Mhm.
do they need cheek filler? That they never even thought that they would
Yeah.
need cheek filler, but sometimes that helps the under eye, or maybe starting some PRF, maybe doing some talks. Maybe all of it,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to be like, ooh,
Yeah.
your eyes suck.
Like when you get that kind of snarl, like, ooh, girl.
Ooh.
Mm.
If I could do it with my lower mouth, I would. Like, ooh. Like, I can't even do that anymore.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm
Tox has
okay.
ruined
Yeah, I'm
me.
like, I'm okay that I can't do that. There's certain things where I'm like, that's all right. Yeah.
I know. And my kids, too, they're like, I tell them, I would be scowling at you right now
Yeah.
if I could.
Yes.
But I can't.
I used to have like that mom, like the teacher look that when I would just like look at them, they're like, ooh, I'm stopping whatever it is I'm doing. And now I can't do that. But
I know. Yeah.
it's all right.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
better than having those angry 11s.
Oh, yeah.
Very angry.
Oh, it was very deep. And John likes to remind me, and then he likes to show my befores. This was a real fun time. We were at a family dinner and we were talking about one of the family was like, yeah, I'm kind of considered doing Botox. He's like, well, let me show you a picture of Laci. And I'm like, I think, is that like a violation of some sort? I don't know. Yeah.
HIPAA?
Yeah. I'm like, should you do that? And so he brings it out, but look at how she looks now. And he shows the after. And I'm like, okay. And then I felt like they all were staring at me afterwards. So yeah, we had to have a discussion about that. Like maybe you just don't show family. Like I don't mind my mom, my sister, but yeah.
Yeah.
I felt kind of embarrassed.
Oh, well, you look great.
Well, thank you.
And I think that's the best part about John, that, and you, usually I feel like, plastic surgeons, they have very overdone wives. And I think you look very great, very natural, beautiful skin.
Well, and he's really good about not too much. Because there's been times I'm like, do you think I need like more lips? And he looks, he goes, no. I go, well, what if I really want them? He goes, no, you are not going out in the world with like those giant duck lips. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna promote it.
Yes.
So he's really good about saying no, or, well, maybe we could do something, but I tend to be a guinea pig on a lot of his stuff that he's like, we could try this. And I'm like, okay, I'll try it.
All right. Yeah. And he does say no to a lot of patients too, which is great because I do, check patients in and they tell me what they're wanting. And I'm like, oh, I don't think he's going to do it, but we'll see what he says. I mean, I don't tell them that, but in my head, I'm thinking that. And he asks for my honest opinion and I'll let him know. And sure enough, nothing will be done.
Yeah.
But, there's always, I feel like when you start getting work done on your face, you're like, oh, what about this? Or what about that? And you start seeing things that you never saw before.
Yeah.
And you start fixating on them. But in reality, nobody else notices them. And it's just you.
Yeah.
And Botox or whatever treatments you start doing kind of opens the door for your openness to try other things too. So
yeah, no, I think that's exactly it. Like I said, it's the gateway drug to all the other fun things to try out. And there are certain things that I probably wouldn't do, but I'm willing. Like with John, I just don't really feel like he would overdo it and make it look terrible. So
right. What do you think is your favorite treatment that you've gotten so far?
Probably microneedling. I love that.
Yeah.
And I want to do it more often, but I forget. But it's so good because I feel like maybe I'm just a glutton for some pain because it's like, oh, I feel like it just really digs in there and you're like, oh, but it hurts just a smidge. But then afterwards, like it just is glow. Your skin is just amazing.
Yeah.
And And I felt like I had a couple scars too from chickenpox at 13. And it's kind of like lessened them.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think that's probably my overall favorite.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I love it too. It's really good. But you're right. I don't find the time to do it to myself very often, which I
Yeah.
really should. But it's hard. I just want to get out of there. I just want to go home.
Yes.
So it's hard to like spend time. Plus, you're supposed to stop your retinol, and I
Yeah.
swear by my retinol.
Yeah.
I can't go without
I
it.
forget. Like, I'm like, oh, I've got to stop doing that for just a smidge to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To prep for it.
Yeah.
I know. I was thinking of, so I did Opus once with Steph, and after I did Opus, John's never tried Opus. So I told him, I was like, I'm never doing Opus again. And then he's like, well, why not? Like, that's not so bad. I was like, have you done it? No, well, no, but and I was like, okay, I think now I'm ready for Opus again.
Yeah.
It's like childbirth,
Yeah.
right? You like forget about the pain and you're like, I'm ready for Opus again because your skin is so amazing afterwards.
Yeah.
It really gets in deep
Mhm.
and gives you some pretty good results.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit spicier, a little bit more recovery time than microneedling, but you get really good results with it.
And what is Opus? Is it a laser or is
It's-
it the rolly?
Mhm.
Okay.
It's like a plasma energy.
Okay.
So you leave with these like red streaks,
Okay.
but it does really well with skin tightening. And I've had really great results with under eye Opus.
Oh.
I tend to combine that treatment with my under eye PRF because it gives you that additional boost, thickening that skin, which I feel like for under eyes, that's the main
Yeah.
concern is the darkness, right? So we want to thicken that skin because there's no fat under there. It can be kind of hollow looking, and that's what gives you the dark circles. And so when we thicken that skin, it kind of plumps it and makes it less dark. So,
all right, I might need to do that one now.
Yeah.
Because again, as you get older, I feel like things are kind of getting just hollowed out a little, and I'm like, I don't want filler or thing. I mean, do they put filler like up and in there? And
yes, but the problem with under eye filler is that you have to make sure it's in the right spot, and you can't do too much because, like I said, there's no fat. Usually we put filler under fat to kind of help stay there. But because there's nothing there, it can move. It tends to move, and then you kind of get like this bulge above your cheek. So I don't like doing filler under the eye. I do a little bit. What I do is I recommend doing PRF under eye, Opus under eye, and then after all of those treatments, we wait a few months and then see how it does. And if you need filler at that appointment, we'll do a little bit of filler. And if you do end up needing filler, it's a very minimal amount versus what you would need if you hadn't done all of those steps. So how I see it is under eye filler is the Band-Aid to your problem. And you're going to have to come back. You'll probably have to dissolve. It's going to be costly. Yep, it's going to be costly over time. But if we start treating the skin, getting it thicker, that's going to resolve that problem. You're going to see better results. You're going to be happier. It's a longer process, but I would rather fix the problem than just keep putting Band-Aids on it because eventually you're not going to be able to do that anymore.
Right.
So,
all right, I'm going to have to look into that.
It's fun.
It's fun.
I feel like people get scared of under eye PRF because it's under their eye. But really, I feel like most of the time my patients can tolerate it really well. There is a nerve under your eye, and so maneuvering under that, we use a cannula, not a needle. So the cannula does not have a pointy end to it, so I'm not going to like stab your eyeball or anything. We go very slowly, but there's a nerve under there. So maneuvering around that can kind of like feel weird, and then like hearing, the liquid go in there.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's so quick. I mean, I just go in there, leave the fluid there, and then you're done. And it's going to get swollen. It gets a little more swollen before it starts going down, but then it'll be absorbed and start rejuvenating.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I could do that.
yeah.
I've done all the other stuff. Why not?
We've
why
given
haven't I?
birth.
Yes.
Like, we could
Why
do
haven't I
anything.
done this yet? Like, goodness.
I know.
It's gonna be fun.
There's so much new techniques, new treatments out there that I would love to even try.
Yeah, I keep seeing like lasers and this and that, and I'm like, pretty soon. I think it was like a meme or something that came up that showed the Golden Girls, and it said something that they were like in their 40s and like early
Yes.
50s, and I'm like, what?
Right?
And they were like, it's totally changed. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Like those big old glasses and like
the short hair that's like all curled up.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
Yeah.
I know.
Golden Girls.
It's so funny. A lot of times I start talking to my patients and we're getting to know each other and they're so surprised that I have 3 kids. I'm like, yeah. 3 kids.
I can handle it.
Yeah.
I put all my Botox in my skincare and you don't even know.
Right? Yeah. And I only started I think I got my first tox treatment after Ethan was born. So sometime in 2022. So only 2 years ago. And so I haven't had very many treatments. I kind of give myself treatments every once in a while when I need it.
Yeah.
But I feel like the first thing I did was my eyes, my crow's feet. And that was my biggest concern.
Mhm.
And so I only did my eyes. And then I feel like now I can't even remember the last time I put tox around my eyes. I just feel like between skincare and treatments and already starting Botox, I feel like my lines have already diminished and I hardly
There are no lines.
need it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's how it is with a lot of my patients. I had one patient come in. I've had a few patients this happen to. They were getting an astronomical amount of tox in their face and it wasn't lasting. It wasn't doing anything. I put, a smaller amount of tox and it works so well. And then they come back and then they come back and then they come back. And pretty soon I'm not needing to put that much tox into their face because everything kind of goes away. Their lines. And so they come back and they're trying to animate. And I'm like, girl, it's still working. You're still good. Like, I don't need to put that much in there. And they're so happy about it. Yeah. And I tell patients, I'm like, you shouldn't need more and more and more unless you're doing different areas in your face. Then we're going to have to add more units. But for the same spots, you should not be needing more and more. In fact, you should be needing less and less because when you're not working out those muscles, they get weak. So
which one do you like? I know there's like Botox and there's Dysport and there's, like a gazillion. Doxy, is that one? Daxify. That's I'm like, Daxy? All these, like, what's the best? What do you like?
I don't like to tell my patients what they should get. I kind of explain all of the differences. They all have the same active ingredient, so they're all going to work. And John likes to use his analogy of Botox, or the tox brands are like gasoline, right? They're all going to do the same thing. They're all going to get you somewhere, but they all have different ingredients and components and what makes them that molecule or that product. So they all can't be exactly the same. Right. And so for me personally, I've tried a couple other brands, but I like Xeomin. And I feel like it's the lightest feeling. I don't know if it lasts any longer than other tox brands personally on myself, but I know with other tox brands that I've tried, it just felt, I could feel it in my forehead and it kind of felt, heavier. And doing tox on myself, I'm going to do exactly how I do it every time. I know my own muscles. I know the dose that I need. And so it's kind of weird that there is a difference that you feel. And I feel like a lot of my patients that like Dysport or Botox, it's kind of like all that they've tried, and they like that they can feel it in their forehead because they think that it's working.
Yeah.
You know, it's just knowing it's
preference.
there,
Yeah.
so you know it's working, right?
Yeah.
And they're kind of weirded out by brands that are lighter because they're like, "Oh, I don't feel it. I don't think it's working." But then you try and make them move and they can't move their forehead.
Yeah.
So you're like, it's working.
Yeah, I don't really know the difference between any of them. John just brings home some for me when he says I need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, like whatever works. What do you got? Like,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
And there's a lot of people that don't care what brand. Some people care more about the money, the cost of it, the rewards programs. Other people like that Xeomin doesn't have anything in it. Some people like the spread of Dysport. Some people like that Botox has been around the longest. It's a personal preference. Yeah. For me, I like Xeomin. I've been using it for a while now. I mean, that's pretty much the only thing I use. And on my patients, if there's a certain area that they want to do, like the under eye, I tell them I can do, say, Dysport everywhere else on your face, but if I'm going to do under eyes on you, I'm going to only use Xeomin.
Okay.
Because I know that it's going to stay where I put it.
Oh, okay.
And so things like that. But they're usually, I mean, they don't want that result either. They don't want it to spread anywhere that they don't want it to go. So they're going to be okay with that. So, yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
Well, thank you, Laci, for joining me. It was really fun chatting with you. I feel like we both have to suffer together with John.
You need support. We got to have a support group.
Yes, we need a support group. And we just need Steph here too.
Yes.
And then,
we'll have the three amigos.
Exactly.
We'll be together. We can support each other.
Yeah.
Bring John to like kind of just humble him down a little.
Yeah. Deflate the head a little bit, just a tiny bit, but it's great. I'm glad that we all get along, and it's like a great work family. So
it's fun.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I feel like every time we come in there, I'm like, oh, it's like going into Cheers.
Yeah,
you know, like everybody knows your name, and we're having fun and just chill, and it's a good time.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on our show. And
thanks for having me.
For those of you out there, this is John's wife, and she runs our social media account. So you'll be talking to her at some point on Instagram.